Yeah, welcome to this video, a 15-minute game. Again here on ICC I play e4, getting some variety and a French defense. Okay, let's play d4 quickly and decide now what to play. Let's go for the Tarrasch. There's a white choice, obviously. Knight c3 nowadays is probably considered more critical, but it's all matter of choice and matter of taste. Matter of taste, I wanted to say. Okay, yeah, here white has three principled setups: bishop d3 and knight to e2, knight g to e2, and then knight d to f3. Bishop d3 and knight g to f3, which is sometimes called the universal system because it can be applied against some other move orders as well. Or you can go f4, which is the most ambitious. I'll play f4. The idea is to play knight d to f3 later and build up this big center with f4 and this e5 bridgehead. So white has got pretty big space advantage in the center, typical of the French with f4. This is consolidated, the space advantage. So now black can play a multitude of moves in these closed positions. You often got a bit of a choice. You can play queen b6 now, or bishop to e7. A very solid option is to go for f5 now or after the exchange on d4, just blocking the position completely. Years ago, when I was still playing the French as black, I built up a setup with h5. I took on d4, knight b6, and then g6, h5. Very, yeah, solid but also passive setup. Didn't have much success with this. This applies to my results with the French in general. But okay, now let's see what he's going for. Queen b6 is the most interesting, actually. Trying to put pressure against this d4 pawn. Yeah. And now white has some choice. Again, you can play the traditional move g3, which consolidates the center a bit more even, and after taking bishop b4 check, you go king f2, after which black can even play a g5, pretty wild line. White can play h4. This is directed against g5, or you can play a3, which I'm going to do now. a3 is directed against this bishop b4 check move. Okay, nothing to think about. White needs to recapture. Okay, so how should I proceed now? I would like to play bishop to d3, of course. This is the natural square, but then he can take on d4 simply. He hasn't castled yet, and there's not. This bishop b5 check trick is not on. Okay, I could play knight e2 to c3 maybe, or I could play something like h4, knight h3 and bishop e2, something like this. Yeah, quite a wide choice. Or I could go b4. This is also possible. b4 to prepare bishop e3. The only problem is that it further delays my development, but okay, it's the most ambitious move. Also, it gains this space on the queen side so that he cannot go knight to a5, for example. It weakens c4 though, you must be careful. Black could easily play the queen back to d8 or c7 and try to play knight b6 to c4 at some point. Not that it is fatal if a knight is on c4, but it's a square. Yeah, I think black should probably consider f6 or castles and f6, trying to open up the position. It's often very funny in these lines as that white is moving his pawns all the time, and he hasn't even castled yet. So you must be careful. This can be this can end in an absolutely great position for white, where you completely dominate the board because you've got this huge space advantage. But it can also really hit you hard if you get stuck in the center with the king, and black opens up with f6 quickly. Okay, so if I would, no, I shouldn't say that, right? If I play queen d2 now, I would cover e3. He's threatening to take on e5, actually to take on e5 and then take with the knight, because my e3 bishop is hanging. So queen d2 would be it is a natural move to cover the e3 bishop. I need to check knight takes b4. Knight takes b4, ab bishop b4 would win the queen. So okay, should I could also play bishop to f2. But after castles, there's this taking on e5 idea again. Yeah, not really. Maybe bishop f2. It looks terribly slow. And knight takes b4 is an option, maybe still. Don't have a good development. This is okay. What about queen d3 maybe? But okay, I would really like to have a bishop on d3. The bishop is just, it must be on d3. This is this square for this piece. So bishop f2 after all, but knight b4 is really annoying. On knight b4 I have rook b1 maybe. Not sure that I'd like that though. All right, if he takes on b4, I need to defend this. It's probably not correct anyway for black, but it simply looks a bit weird. Yeah, knight takes b4 was an option probably. Okay, so let's set up the way I really want to have the pieces. Bishop d3 and knight e2 is the ideal setup. It all works nicely together with supporting the center, and the bishop is simply perfectly placed on d3, eyeing the h7 pawn and the king side, but also exerting influence on the queen side. It's the best square. Sometimes in these positions there's g3 bishop h3. It's also an option, but if you have the if they've got the chance to put it on d3, then this is the way to go. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how black should proceed here. He needs to do something concrete. I mean, if you just play passive moves, let's say rook somewhere on rook, I don't know, f7 and knight f8 or something, you're simply worse with the space disadvantage, or this kind of stuff. I'm not sure what this is doing. Okay, let's complete development. Yeah, don't really understand the purpose of king h8. What black is always able to do, he can always play still play f5 and close the position. This is a possibility. In the long run, white would prepare g4 against that and should enjoy some advantage. It's simply more space, and you're the one to dictate the opening of the play. You play g4 and black, well, I'm not sure if he can take. Of course, I'm not talking about f5 g4 immediately, but after some preparation, you have you are the one playing g4, and then you decide if you take at some point or play g5, h4, h5, and so on. You're the one with the space advantage. So this is more comfortable for white, f5, but it's fairly solid. Yeah, one idea, but it takes really long time, would be to play something like the bishop on c8, this typical bad French bishop, trying to get this piece to b5, getting it exchanged. It takes a long time though. You need to move both knights and then go ahead with the bishop. This is one idea. All what black could do is finally move this queen from b6, which is really not particularly well placed at the moment. Move this queen and play knight b6. Maybe this is an idea, something like queen to d8, knight b6, knight c6 to a7, bishop d7 to a b5. It takes ages, but it's a plan, constructive plan. Oh, he doesn't move. Yeah, something like this. Maybe you need to untie these pieces on d7, c6, b6, and c8. They are simply standing on each other's toes, those pieces. What did he play? Queen c7. Yeah, this was like the idea I mentioned. Not sure that c7 is so great though. Maybe he wants to go b5 and a5, something like this, or b5, knight b6, c4. Also a possibility. Okay, should I castle? I mean, this is not clear. If I really still should castle. Is it a good idea to play queen c2, attack the h7 pawn so that black is provoked to play f5? I also wonder, maybe queen c2 And then rook c1 to prevent even b5. No, it looks it's very passive, this position for black. Or maybe rook c1, and on b5 I have queen c2, yeah, with a double attack. Yeah, this looks nice. The rook is not bad on c1 anyway, opposing the black queen. And I keep my options open here. One idea I also spotted is h4. h4 with the idea to play knight g5 as a piece sacrifice. I don't know, let's say h4, knight g5. I would move 2 in a row. This looks really dangerous. H takes g5, f takes g5, h takes g5, open up the h file, and how does he cover h7 even? I don't think he can. And after h4, knight g5, there's e6 hanging and h7 hanging, so cannot even play f5. So h4 is an option. I wasn't sure if he replies f5. If I have something good then. I mean, in a position with f5, I don't really want to play h4. I want to play for g4 and keep the pawn on h3 to support g4. So h4, f5 was my problem, my objection to this idea. It's still interesting, h4. Aha, oh, this is surprising. Opening up the kingside is really questionable. D takes e5 also was fine, with knight d4 coming. I control d4 perfectly, but I wanted to have f4 for the knight. So something like queen d2, knight f4, h4, knight f4, knight g5, and so on. Yeah, this looks very, very dangerous now for black. He doesn't really gain anything substantial from the capture on e5. Sometimes you can open up the f-file to sacrifice an exchange on f3, or even play piece sacrifice on e5 in those kind of lines, but not anymore with all the time lost. Yeah, the question is this h4 knight g5 idea an option now? He cannot play f5 anymore, and attacking h7 is dangerous. Yeah, it's certainly an option. Another idea would be bishop to b1 and queen d3, lining up the standard battery on h7. Yeah, it's a multitude of good options. Yeah, maybe he should try to rook f7. Idea being knight f8 and covering h7. Rook somewhere else. d8. Yeah, looks weird to leave the f-file. My idea with rook d8 was rook d8, knight f8, bishop d7, e8, g6. This would be a standard maneuver, but it takes so long. I mean, you're probably mate already before you even have the bishop halfway on the king side. This can be real quick. This can be real quick now. Aha. Back to d8. Yeah, h4 and knight g5. It's is an option. Or this this maneuver with bishop b1, queen d3. I also like that. Yeah, come on. Let's not waste too much time. He's down to 2 minutes something, and he's not speeding up. Ah, okay. I didn't take that into account at all. It's not particularly great, probably, but I really didn't consider it. What I could do is just play queen d3, threatening mate, and then react to this, like bishop e3 or taking and bishop e3. Yeah, okay, this was my idea anyway. So let's threaten this mate, and here he cannot cover it with a piece like knight f8. He must play g6 now. There's no other move. And after this g6, maybe I can just take on g5 and play castles with the intention of bishop e3 to h6. Yeah, this looks disastrous, really. Is there any way to defend this? Yeah, probably I have even other options, but this is good enough. At castles now. He's got all pawns on light squares, so the dark squares are terribly weak. And I have this bishop e3 thing coming. Yeah, okay, let's... Or is there something better? Let's check. Bishop h4. No, probably not. But this is perfectly fine. I want to go to h6 or g5. He needs to give me the f file also now.
Check.
f8 rook was hanging. So bishop h6, threatening rook f8 with really close to a checkmate, or knight f4, just taking on g6. Knight f4. This is very direct. Does he have anything against this, even against this capture? Knight f4. He probably, yeah, queen g7. On other moves, I just take it on g6. Yeah, come on. This looks good enough. Queen g7 is the only move now to avoid the immediate winning sacrifice on g6. But on queen g7 I have various moves. One interesting try being knight h5, taking bishop g5 with the idea bishop f6. Oh no, I can even quicker. On queen g7 I could play knight h5 takes and rook f8 with mate. Yeah, okay. And now I can just take.
Check.
He's got no way to prevent queen h6 now. Okay, can do this, but it shouldn't really help.
Check.
And bishop h6. Something better? No, I don't think so. Let's check this just for a second. Yeah, bishop e8 briefly irritated me, but I can just play queen h4. Yeah, the queen is attacked now, and if he goes queen somewhere, I don't know, queen g5 is winning, or rook f8. Got more than one win now. But this is cute. Just exchange queens.
Checkmate.
And this checkmate. Yeah, this line is dangerous for black. It can easily lead to these kind of one-sided games if you don't really know what you're doing concretely. I'm not 100% sure. One possible idea for black is, for example, a5 here to prevent b4, or just do f5, or play like in the game with f6, but just quicker, avoiding a6 and other moves in the game. It was just very good for white. This kind of position is just better for white. I was irritated by this knight takes b4 idea. I want to check it quickly. Knight takes b4, just because I was thinking that king e2 is a very uncomfortable move, but this is still alright. Yeah, I thought so, because I now have freed f3 for my other knight, so I can cover all this. So this wasn't a problem. The computer actually wants to play g5 and gives black pretty good assessment here. g5 is interesting. Attacking the center. Yeah, black needs to play actively. If he does he plays too many passive moves like in the game, you simply get destroyed. This is indeed interesting. Let's say I would take here, and then the computer wants to play knight f6. Yeah, this is indeed interesting. Knight g5, and now something like this. Yeah, this is just a complete mess, but it certainly takes white out of his comfort zone here. The position is opened, and yeah, your king is on e1. It's not so easy to play this. I'm not saying this is better for black or something, but you need to play some active stuff to get counterplay in the game. It was after I got this completed. It's very one-sided. You can play something like f5 to yeah, sort of, yeah, batten down the hatches and try to survive all this. But yeah, I think this is now really close to win. It's very hard to defend the kingside attack. This is just one option.
Check.
Yeah, here also bishop h6 was good, but knight f4 was strong. I was thinking this move, but I can just play here with the idea that this is checkmate.
Check.
And after knight h5, what should you do? This stuff gets really ugly. For example.
Check.
Yeah, and a sad end to this game. Yeah, thanks for watching. I think this was a pretty good example that in the French defense, where white takes much space, you need to play active defense. If you play passively, it can be very one-sided. Yeah, thanks for watching.